Joining us now is political analyst Antonio Contreras to break down the latest developments in politics. Magandang umaga po sa inyo ulit. Thanks for joining us.
Magandang umaga. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so ano pong masasabi niyo doon sa resumption ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee kahapon, yung hearing again on the anomalous flood control projects?
Well, sa una pa lang na statement ni Senator Lacson, talagang meron na agad siyang pastabog sa huli. So I think it's significant that to that itself is symbolic of the fact that he is still in charge and that he still runs the committee. And tama naman yung kanyang sentimiento na wala namang sinasanto ang Blue Ribbon Committee. Well, generally wala. Kasi kahapon napansin ko na mukhang napakabait nila kay Leandro Leviste. Of course, it's interparliamentary courtesy naman kasi member ng House. But I wish they could have pursued more the issue of how he obtained the documents. Kasi may sinabi si dating Secretary Bondoan na napakaganda nung bandang huli. Tinanong niya bakit hindi na lang dumaan na ang Congress mismo ang nag-request ng documents. Ano bang papel na ginagampanan ni Representative Leviste? Bakit siya mismo personally ang pumunta doon sa opisina? Na samantalang ang kalakaran ang Kongreso sinasabi na ang mga documents na yan. So, yun ang hindi pinurso masyado. Although binanggit ng kaunti at si Senator Marcoleta, actually may sinabi ng maganda na hindi dapat si Reviste mag-testify. Hindi siya competent witness about the internal workings of the DPWH. He should just be asked about how he obtained the document. Unfortunately, hindi nila siguro nga dahil dahil sila ay magkapareho ng kapangyarihan ng House at ng Senate at voluntarily naman pumunta si Leviste doon, so interparliamentary courtesy ay
was observed. Okay. All right. But what do you think about the new witnesses, yung mga nakatalokbong, no? Saying na yung link nga daw kay former House Speaker Martin Romualdez sa pagbili ng property sa Forbes Park. What do you think about it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether this is something that Senator Lacson actually miscalculated. Because what the witnesses provided is all hearsay.
Yeah.
Right? It's technically hearsay. Wala man sinabing na mismong hindi nila na-validate kung si Secretary dating Speaker Romualdez bang may-ari ng bahay. Wala naman silang narinig lang nila. Sinabi lang di umano ni Curly Discaya.
Right.
So at si Curly Discaya naman ay tinatanggi. So anong naging silbi noong dalawang yun doon? Except to perhaps say that they are not sparing Speaker Romualdez. Yun na naging wala silang sinasanto. So I think that is the purpose in a way to say na kahit maliit na ebidensya, kahit hearsay, tingnan natin kung it will lead us to where it should lead us, but apparently it did not. It didn't land anything. It's optics. So yun yung medyo weak point nung testimony kahapon. Kasi anong na-accomplish nung dalawang babaeng yun? Chismis. Sinasabi lang. Diba?
So do you think that, Senator Lacson should pursue looking for Orly Gutesa just to, confirm again yung statement niya at ibangga sa mga ibang possible witnesses na mahanap nila?
Well, I think the committee already, I think issued a warrant of arrest or something. I don't know. They should issue something stronger to look for Gutesa and also for the other witnesses who are not there or resource persons. I call them resource persons because this is not a criminal proceeding.
Right.
It's a hearing in aid of legislation. So hanapin na pa nila yon, and Gutesa could provide really, because he's the one who alleged the connection between that former Speaker Romualdez is really involved in the flood control anomalies.
That's right.
But overall, do you think that the hearings, the investigation of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is still necessary?
Well, I think so. Lalo na yung tungkol nga doon sa tungkol sa mga allocable, yung maganda kahapon yung nalinaw kung bakit may mga coordinates na
Yeah.
na iba kasi ang nakikita ko dito, meron kasi mga document na planning documents. Yung pagpaplano lang. Iba yung dokumento doon na nakalagay sa approve. Kasi alam naman siguro yan ng kahit sino mang gumagawa ng project. Ako may project din ako, construction, kundi research project. Kung ano yung minsan yung plano mo hindi nasusunod. Yung gusto mong plano maging questionnaire mo sa survey, hindi yun ang nasusunod. So may mga ganon. So minsan, yung kung ano yung naplano na lalagyan ng construction, ay wag ko construction ng flood control, yun ang hindi naman nangyari sa ground. So may ganong klase ng prinsipyo na baka naman we are trying to we're not on the same page. Di ba? Kasi ang tinitingnan ng iba, akala nila proof of corruption na iplano pa lang pala yun.
Oo.
Hindi pa yun yung na-execute. Kaya tulad ng allocable. Ang daming nawalang laway dyan sa allocable. Allocable, those are planning items. Those are figures that are allocable nga. Kaya nga, for the lack of a better word, ginawang allocable kasi to be allocated, right?
Yes.
Allocable. Although ang naging interest ng iba parang inaalok kasi yung pera, yun ibang meaning, but it is a planning document. So and then iba yung na-release. Ano ba yung na-release na pera? Katulad din doon sa yung coordinates. Ano yung
Yes,
coordinate
yes.
na nasa plano? Ano naman yung coordinate ng actual na project na?
That's right.
Kasi ito yung nagkakaiba yung tinitingnan ng mga tao, and I think yung nangyari na ako na-accomplish kahapon, nalinaw yun na magkaiba yun minsan. So baka naman tayo nag-iingay kasi hindi tayo pareho ng tinitingnan na
Knowledgeable.
binabasang pahina.
That's right.
Yun nga, parang somewhere along the way ay na-lost in translation na tayo lahat-lahat. And dahil nga sa outrage ng public, kapag sinabing, ito yung coordinates na to, nagpuntahan naman lahat ng mga investigator to go to that coordinates and only to find out na sabi nila, ghost project, yung pala, mali pala yung coordinates. Kasi, go ahead.
Ako naman ang pinagtataka ko kasi hindi naman ito maliliit na project. Ito yung mga dam, kasi kung ang na-off lang siya by 50 meters, na-off lang siya ng mga 100 meters, makikita mo rin yan doon eh. Nakatayo ka sa ilog, tapos wala kang makita dito, tapos may mga 100 meters away, merong ginagawa. Parang, I think kung 50 meters to 100 meters lang yan, that's not that far. Kung 3 kilometer yan, siguro na by talagang hindi mawawala ka. Pero kung yan ay mga less than mga 500 meters o kahit 700 meter, matatanaw mo pa yan na may ginagawa. Hindi ka ba magtatanong, ano ba yung ginagawa doon? Di ba? Nung pumunta sila sa ground, kung saan lang tiningnan nila? Diba? Parang minsan iisipin mo, marami tayong nasasayang na laway, nasasayang na galit, nasasayang on things na probably maiwasan kung nag-uusap lang, inaayos lang lahat. At tama lang yung terminology.
So do you think yung sagot ni former Secretary Bonoan na binigay lang sa kanya to ni the late Catalina Cabral was just pointing at somebody who can't answer back anymore, or may truthfulness sa sinasabi niya?
Well, ako naman nagtaka naman. Well, nakikita ko sa Secretary Bonoan trying to explain, pero ang naisip ko naman sa kanya, anong klaseng boss yan lahat na lang yung binigay sa lahat, di ba? You have to rely on of course, DPWH is a big organization.
Yes,
Of course, there are leaders who do not micromanage. But on some things, so pag pera ang pinag-uusapan, kung ako yun, pera, milyon-milyon yan, ay talagang titingnan ko, I'll be like a dragon breathing on the necks of my assistant and USEX. Kasi pera ng bayan yan. Hindi pwedeng, ikaw ay overseeing ka lang, parang hindi pwede. So yun ang medyo na-fault ko si Bono, na parang tama nga naman galit ng mga senador. Nandun ka sa taas, anong ginawa mo na parang tinatanggap mo lang lahat, na parang hindi mo alam lahat. USEC, planning yung officer, yung USEC mo for planning si Cathy Cabral, ba't hindi mo man lang inusisa, di ba? Nung buhay, paano ba to? Paano ba ginagawa yung trabaho mo? Kasi pag ako uupo sa isang posisyon at malam ko na may mga technical, ipapagpapa-orient ako doon sa mga USEC ko, paano ba ginagawa trabaho mo? Ipakita mo sa akin, ano ba yung mga, hindi pwedeng wala kang pakialam. Kasi kutulod nga, nagkaroon ng problema, wala kang masagot, ikaw magmumukhang tanga.
Siguro at this point, Prof, mas mabuti ng incompetent ka as a leader kaysa corrupt ka. Ganun na lang siguro.
Siguro dahil yun na nga po, you can beg. Ano yung may plea of incompetence.
Ganun na lang. Kesa corrupt ako.
Instead, parang kapalit ng plea of insanity, plea of
Yes.
incompetence.
Yes.
You're not corrupt, you're just incompetent.
Yeah.
Parang ganun ba yun?
Oo. Prof, well, palambing na lang ako. Since you're here na rin din, we would like to get your thoughts also doon sa first ever impeachment complaint against the president. What do you think about it?
Well, I've read the complaint because that's what I do. I first read things before I comment, and I think it's a poorly written complaint. To the allegations are really like, for example, the unconstitutionality of acts like yung appropriation UA. Hindi pa naman nirurule na unconstitutional ng Supreme Court yung UA. So paano mo masasabing unconstitutional? The arrest of former President Duterte, to call it a kidnapping. Again, that's to be determined that by the court. And besides, it goes beyond the jurisdiction of the Philippines. It talks about international law. And what is even shocking yung tungkol sa di umano ay drug addict si presidente. It's something that is really anong evidence mo doon? Anong kukunin mong evidence? So if at all, what this impeachment complaint will achieve, kaya may mga nagdududa, di ba, ni Representative Erice na nag-file ng abogado ngayon connected kay First Lady. What it will do is it's going to vaccinate President Marcos for 1 year.
Yeah.
Kasi I don't see that this is, of course, this will inform naman, sufficient naman siya eh. Kasi may nag-complain, in-endorse ang isang member ng Congress, ma-refer naman yan sa Justice Committee. Pero as to whether it is going to fly, I don't see it flying. So
Substance daw niya, Prof, is I understand 15 pages with very few attachments on several key issues.
Yes, and at the same time, it's based on the fundamental defect is that we know that impeachment is a political process, but it's really coming from a political position. For example, when you say that Duterte is being kidnapped, then that's already a narrative of one side of the political divide, right? So therefore, it's very clear partisan. It's a partisan complaint already. When you argue that the president is an addict, that is again a narrative of one political side. So it's not, at least in the case of the impeachment against Sara Duterte, it is based on confidential funds. It's based on documents. It's based on the failure to account, which is, for me, a non-partisan issue. What could have been a more substantive yun nga yung allegations about budgets, etc. Ang problema, fino-fault mo ang presidente for signing. Diba? For signing the budget. Trabaho niya naman yun eh. Para bagang kung gano'n, di lahat na lang ng presidente ang pumipirma ng budget ay pwedeng i-impeach kung ang budget ay may problema. And then the other thing is that yung UA, lumalabas kahapon doon sa testimony ni Toledo, if that's something that also came out of the hearing yesterday, mismo si Toledo nagsabi, ang pag-release ng UA, hindi ang presidente ang pumipirma, kundi ang DBM secretary lang. So doon pa lang nakita na natin, walang kinalaman ng presidente pag-release ng UA. Ang UA hindi pa naman diniklarang unconstitutional ng Supreme Court. Ang pumipirma pala ng release niya na yung DBM secretary. O paano mo impeach ang presidente doon na hindi mo pala siya kasama sa pagpipirma? So doon pa lang mayroon ng problema.
Well, I think kasi, Prof, ang inaano nila doon sa UA, yung sinabi sa Supreme Court tungkol doon sa PhilHealth Fund transfer na any unappropriated appropriated amount ay unconstitutional. I think doon nila binabase yon. But we'll see.
Well, ang kasi doon, ginagamit nila sa Belgica. Ang alalahanin natin, una, dalawa yan eh. Yung isang Supreme Court ruling, ang ginawang unconstitutional is the post-enactment allocation. Ito yung tinatawag na pork barrel na lump sum allocation ng congressman. Hindi yun pwede. Yung isa naman, yung tungkol sa paggagastos ng walang appropriation. Yun yung isa. Parehong nirule ng Ito, ang UA ay naka-appropriate yan, naka-item, nakalagay yan sa budget eh. At naka-itemize kung saan mo gagastusan. At meron yan triggers. Ang triggers nga dyan, dapat may bago kang revenue at doon sa foreign assisted. Yun ang mga trigger niyan. Tatlo yan na triggers. in-enumerate yan kahapon. So, hindi yan discretion. Ang discretion diyan ay wala. So I don't know, and besides ito ang pinanggagalingan din kasi ng iba na nagsasabi na unconstitutional yung UA is because there is no money yet. Malinaw naman nakalagay sa saligang batas ang provision na yan na pwede ka lang na requirement na merong pera ay kapag special appropriations bill. Ang UA naman hindi bill, parte sa provision siya ng GAA, hindi siya separate bill.
Yeah.
So, yun yung problema dito. Pinaghalo-halo nga ang kategorya eh.
Thank you for all your insights. I hope to have you back, political analyst
Sure.
Antonio Contreras. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.